This is 9 News with Will McDonald.
Good afternoon. Major crime detectives are on the hunt for a killer after the brutal ambush murder of a young man at his home in Seaton. Samantha Hogan has the details.
Police say the power was deliberately switched off to the home here on Kerry Street just after 10 last night in order to lure the victim outside. They say the killer was armed and waiting, stabbing 19-year-old Scott Phillips multiple times and leaving him to die.
I think it's fair to say that this was a pre-planned attack, and it was an ambush in the sense that switching the power off lured him outside. The person was armed, he was waiting, and he unleashed a furious attack on the victim. Neighbours reporting hearing his screams for help, but despite the efforts of his friends, then police and paramedics, he died at the scene.
Just let me in, help, help. Like with a blood-curdling scream, like fear, pure fear.
CCTV shows a hooded figure walking away from the home soon after, dropping an object into a bin. Police later recovered a knife from that bin and it is being forensically tested. I'll just say that he was stabbed multiple times and it was clear from the wounds he suffered that it was a deliberate attempt to kill him.
I don't even know the bloke, but I don't wish that upon anybody.
Scott had been at a pub nearby with friends earlier in the night before they returned to the home together, but why he was attacked a short time later is not known. Detectives say they're now trying to build a picture of the victim's life to understand why he was killed.
Series of home invasions in the quiet town of Witty Beach on York Peninsula has had a violent end. A man flown to hospital with multiple stab wounds. It's believed the victim was attacked when he confronted the intruder. Dylan Smith reports.
It was here on Allen Road where the 62-year-old victim confronted the alleged offender before he was attacked. Mike Rehn was stabbed multiple times in the head and arm just before 5 yesterday afternoon. Emergency services racing to the scene, working on him.
Sorting out a man, from what I heard, which was stabbed yesterday from a burglar robbing his house.
Before he was airlifted to the Royal Adelaide Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police were last night going door to door looking for clues.
Yeah, several coppers and ambos went up and down here. Yeah, couldn't get in or out.
Neighbours believe the offender tried to break into multiple houses.
That sort of thing doesn't happen around here very often, so touch wood, it stays away.
Not a good thing. A good thing is that as a community up here, we do stick together and help each other out.
A 29-year-old Robson man was arrested nearby and taken to hospital. The man is expected to be charged with serious criminal trespass and assault.
The former leader of the state opposition has now taken medical leave after video emerged that appears to show him snorting white powder. Gus McDonald, David Speirs released a public statement today.
Yeah, he did, Will. The former Liberal leader says he will take leave indefinitely. Mr Speirs releasing his statement in writing, saying the last few days have been exceptionally distressing for him and his loved ones, and his emotional health and well-being has been significantly impacted, leaving him feeling vulnerable and at risk. I must take some time to focus on my own health and well-being as any other person should. Adding he's deeply grateful for the overwhelming support from parliamentary colleagues, Liberal Party members and from the community. Mr Speirs has not been seen in public since this video and images emerged appearing to show him snorting a white powder in the kitchen of his home. He has denied it is him, saying he believes he's the victim of a deep fake hoax. Before he issued his statement today, the government was calling on the opposition leader to have Mr Speirs return to work.
People of Hallett Cove expect their members of parliament to turn up and do their job. He hasn't been at Parliament for over 76 days.
Will, I have asked the police for an update on whether the video has been referred, but SAPOL is refusing to comment.
All right, Gus McDonald, thank you. A man accused of using a novelty-sized gift box to steal hundreds of dollars worth of groceries has faced court for the first time. Michael Neese and a co-accused entered multiple Drake stores and concealed fake items inside the fake presents.
Can you tell us whose idea the box was? Were you stealing groceries, Michael?
Drake's is seeking the almost $500 it lost to be paid for by Neese. He returns to court next month. There was violence, fire and fury in Melbourne today when more than 1,000 anti-war protesters clashed with police outside a military expo. The Melbourne Convention Centre was the scene of the running battles, with more than 30 people arrested. Penelope Liersch has more.
You can see still a strong police presence here in the centre of Melbourne. Nearly 2,000 officers called in to assist with these protests, some of them coming from New South Wales with specialist equipment. Well, the morning started with protesters shutting down the city during peak hour, marching across major intersections. It quickly turned violent. Demonstrators pulling down fencing around the convention centre where the Land Forces Weapons Expo is happening inside. Those protesters rushing at police who deployed pepper spray. Rocks, rotten tomatoes, glass and eggs were thrown, with protesters running through lines of mounted police and trying to hold them back. Horses pushed and attacked, but Victoria Police say none was seriously injured. 24 officers have been treated for injuries, including those who came from interstate, while a protester was also taken to hospital. Officers deploying flash distraction devices and rubber rounds as protesters tried to breach more police lines and were pushed back across the Yarra River. The Premier condemning the violence.
To threaten police, to threaten community safety will absolutely be dealt with by Victoria Police. There is the right to protest peacefully, of course, but to behave in such a disgraceful way towards members of Victoria Police who are there doing their job.
They come here to protest against anti-war, so presumably anti-violence. The only way I can describe them is a bunch of hypocrites. Their conduct today was absolutely appalling.
More than 30 arrests have been made. Protesters say they will be back tomorrow and for the rest of the week as this expo continues.
The driver responsible for the deadly New South Wales Hunter Valley bus crash has just been sentenced to a maximum 32 years in prison. It was one of Australia's worst bus crashes, killing 10 wedding guests last June. Brett Button today breaking his silence, telling the court, "I've caused parents to have to bury their children, which has been my biggest nightmare of my life. And now I've done it to so many families. I now hate myself and I now want to disappear." He will be eligible for parole in 24 years. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump have faced off for nearly 2 hours. The current Vice President accusing the former President of being more interested in defending himself than looking out for voters. US correspondent Alison Petrowski was at the debate and has this report.
Well, the stakes were the highest for Kamala Harris tonight. She needed to introduce both herself and her policies to many American voters, and she needed to remain composed, and she succeeded. It was a fiery 90-minute debate. Reproductive rights and immigration have been key issues for both parties. On abortion, Donald Trump falsely claimed that Democrats wanted abortions available for women who were 9 months pregnant, a statement that moderator Lindsay Davis quickly refuted. Then came this bizarre claim about illegal immigrants.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
This claim was refuted by moderator David Muir. In fact, it was one of many claims, many of Trump's claims, refuted by the ABC host.
You talk about extreme. This is, I think, one of the reasons why in this election I actually have the endorsement of 200 Republicans who have formally worked with President Bush, Mitt Romney, and John McCain.
Republicans here in the spin room calling it a pile-on, 3 people against 1, but none of that fazed Donald Trump. He rated his performance pretty highly.
Mr. President, what would you give yourself out of 10?
Pretty close to a 10. That was our best debate.
And when the debate wrapped up, the endorsement that both parties had been desperately waiting for. Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala Harris to her 283 million followers, signing her post, "Childless Cat Lady," a reference to comments made by Trump's running mate J.D. Vance. The election is 2 months away, but early voting begins in some states as soon as next week. The question tonight is, how many undecided voters can be swayed?
Facebook's parent company Meta has fronted a parliamentary inquiry today as the federal government pushed for a total ban on kids accessing social media. More from federal politics reporter Amanda Kopp.
Facebook executives have been grilled in Parliament on how they're using Australians' data, confirming any photos and text posted publicly since 2007 are being used to train their artificial intelligence models. The EU has already changed its privacy laws so that users can opt out of their data being used for AI training, but Australians don't have a choice, prompting calls for the federal government to beef up privacy protections. This all comes as the federal government debates banning kids from using social media because of growing evidence around the technology's negative impact on children. Meta acknowledging the harms, but saying children also use the platform for support.
They're struggling with mental health issues, and actually often they will find support on social media. So I do not think this is as cut and dried as you're suggesting, but it's absolutely a hugely important issue.
But there are questions over how the laws will actually work. Politicians raising questions this morning.
Look, I'm really concerned that this won't work, actually. We've seen plenty of instances in the past where governments have spent lots of time and money on digital protections that our kids have got around in about 3.5 minutes.
In theory, I support it. I welcomed it yesterday, but the more I've read about it, the more I am getting concerned about what this actually means. I don't really like the idea of giving over Australians' ID to international tech companies.
The Albanese government says they will introduce fully formed legislation before the end of the year.
Incredible Paralympic athletes have returned home from Paris, bringing with them 63 medals, including 18 gold. James Wilson was there when they arrived.
There's been plenty of tears and hugs and photos as our para-athletes touch back down in Sydney after the high of this year's Paris Games. Among the masses greeting the 120-strong contingent were family and friends, many of them following on from afar as their loved ones went for gold.
You want to wear it?
Total surprise that they rocked up.
The Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, also dressed in green and gold for the occasion.
We are all proud Australians, and they've made us even prouder over the last couple of weeks.
World record-breaking long jumper Vanessa Lowe was a crowd favourite, her gold medal getting a workout in photos.
There's a lot more to give. I still have a couple of really lofty goals for myself and my career, and I want to see how far I can take this.
It's been an emotional return for wheelchair marathon silver medalist Madison Di Rosario, whose father passed away on the day of the opening ceremony.
My heart's with my sisters at the moment. They're in Perth, so I've got a few more things to do in Sydney, and then I'll head over to be with them.
The Australian team won 18 gold at this year's Games, finishing 9th on the medal tally. In comparison to other years, it wasn't the result they were after, but for these incredible athletes, their success story was complete well before the competition started. For these para-athletes, it really is back to reality now. Many of them are juggling full-time work, raising a family and training to win gold. We'll have the full wrap of this welcome home ceremony on 9 News at 6 p.m.
All right, we're going to go now to a press conference on the day's top story. That is the ambush murder of a 19-year-old man at Seaton. Major Crime is giving an update on this investigation. Here's Detective Superintendent Des Bray.
Carey Avenue at Seaton. The investigation is being led by Major Crime now and being supported by Western District's detectives, uniformed people and other specialist areas from across crime service. Scott lived at the address with another male and that person's partner, and they've been cooperating in the investigation at this stage. At about 10:19, 10:20 last night, there was a phone call to 000 by one of the occupants reporting that their friend had been stabbed and was being attacked outside. Police attended very shortly afterwards, along with ambulance, and despite the best efforts of those people, Scott could not be saved. Forensic Response Section attended last night and have processed the scene, the area outside the scene and a number of areas along the street where we've found a number of items which may or may not be of evidentiary value. We now know that the occupants of the house and our victim went to the Seaton Hotel a short time before the attack. They returned home and they were only inside for a matter of minutes, and then the power was switched off. And Scott went outside to investigate the cause of the power going off, and then he was ferociously attacked and stabbed a number of times. It's clear from the injuries and the attack on Scott that there was an intention to kill him, and his injuries were not survivable. We know that the offender is described as being tall, with athletic build, and he tapers into a narrow waist. And a number of witnesses have said that. He was wearing dark-coloured clothing. Everything he had on was dark-coloured, and he's described as either wearing a dark face mask or a balaclava, and over the top of that was his hoodie pulled from his top. The CCTV that we have, and I believe they're still out searching in wider areas, shows the offender walk south along Fidock Avenue, and just at the side of the house in Fidock Avenue, it's quite possible that's where he put on his mask and readied himself for the attack. He then has gone into the front yard and around near the meter box, and then very shortly after the power's gone off, and then the attacks happened in the darkness. The offender exited the same way. What's critical to the investigation is as the offender was going along Fidock Avenue, two cars of interest drove past. One was a small four-door white-coloured sedan, similar in appearance to a Hyundai i30. Not necessarily a Hyundai, but it has that appearance. So it's a small white car with a rear hatch that comes up. There was also a dark-coloured four-door sedan, like family car size, similar in appearance to an early model Ford. But again, emphasise that both of those cars may not necessarily be Fords or Hyundais, but they're that type of appearance. All available resources and major crime are committed to this investigation at the moment, together with a large amount of other resources drawn from across crime service and the districts. We conducted an extensive search today for CCTV. We did road verges, front yards of some houses in the area. We found a variety of things. We found meat cleavers, we found knives, we found gloves, we found masks, we found a whole range of different things in rubbish bins and around the area. And the truth of it is we have no idea what or if any of that is involved in this investigation at the moment. We're hopeful that one or two items may be connected, but as for the rest, we just don't know. We've been working to build a picture of Scott's life and to work out what was happening in his life, who his friends were, what challenges he had, who he was associating with, all those sorts of things, to build a picture of what was happening and help to identify suspects. Earlier this afternoon, we attended a house at Hectorville and conducted a search and arrested a 19-year-old Hectorville man from that home for having illegal possession of a shotgun and ammunition, and that person was charged at the Watch House and is remanded in custody. Obviously, for us to go there, that was we believe that person might be a person of interest to our investigation, but we have no evidence to incriminate that person at this time. So he'll remain there on those other charges and we'll continue to investigate. We're also pursuing a number of other positive lines of investigation, and we have an open mind as to who was involved and how many people might be involved outside of the person who inflicted the fatal blows. So what we need to know, as I said, is we would like, if there's an innocent explanation for those cars, for the drivers of those vehicles to come forward and contact Crime Stoppers tonight. And if there's not an innocent explanation for them, if anybody knows who that was, to contact us. There was also a person, I don't have any image for you, but there was a person on a little electric scooter that rode down Fidock Avenue about the same time. So if the person that rode down Fidock Avenue on a scooter is watching tonight, I encourage that person to ring Crime Stoppers because we believe he passed the offender. And obviously anyone in that area with dash cam. So the vehicles, the dash cam, anything between 10 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. last night. I'm happy for your questions.
So the arrested man at Hexville was not necessarily the suspect who carried out the attack.
All right, that was the head of major crime, Des Bray, there with the latest on the investigation into the murder of 19-year-old Scott Phillips at Seaton. They are searching for the killer at the moment following that ambush murder that happened, as I said, at Seaton. We'll have the very latest on that investigation coming up tonight in 9 News at 6. Well, Aussie baby food laced with more sugar than chocolate bars, and now South Australia is working to make sure what your kids eat is healthier. We'll tell you how. Plus, Aussie insurance companies face a new ban, why our leading doctors say it's a huge win for Australians.
The youngest blockheads ever
What you see is what you get. I'll be more savage, you'll be nicer.
have been thrown into the deep end.
Oh crap. That room's going to be an actual shambles. I need plasterers. I rang every man and his dog.
We can't. Sorry.
We're literally screwed.
But they have a secret.
Wait for it, Shell.
No one sees coming.
That's amazing.
Oh my lordy.
Tonight, 7:30 on 9.
I'm Nat from O'Brien. These cracks all started as chips. Happens a lot. We replace thousands of windscreens, but a chip repair is faster, cheaper and greener. And with car insurance, your repair is usually free. Book today.
At Carpet Giants, the way we buy
is the way you save up to 60% off.
We buy factory direct ends of rolls.
This is an end of roll.
We've got your
whole home covered.
Carpet Giants, Stamble Road, Salisbury Plain.
Come into Portside Isuzu Ute and drive away with a great deal in September. So for this month only, we're giving away $1,500 worth of free genuine accessories with any MUX 4x4 purchase. So come down to Portside Isuzu Ute at 1008 Port Road.
Need more from your NDIS plan and home care package right now? At SA Disability Care, we offer more individualised support and immediate care. We'll help improve your well-being so you can still live independently, with our welcoming team lending a hand with social and community activities, shopping, preparing healthy meals, helping more with personal care, cleaning and gardening, all with no wait time. Who cares more about your disability and aged care needs right now when you need it? SA Disability Care does. Contact us now for more immediate support.
When there are issues with your bathroom grout and you need someone to sort it out.
Stop leaking showers and balconies without removing tiles. Visit megasealed.com.au.
To celebrate 20 years of Lazy Boy, Walls are offering no deposit and interest-free across our entire range of furniture. Combine this with Waller's best price promise and it's the perfect time to upgrade your furniture. Boho buffets from $15.99. Lazy Boy lounges from $1,099. Timber dining tables from $4.99. Power beds from $11.99. And Nordic recliners from $1,099. Take advantage of no deposit and interest-free for a limited time at Waller's.
Oh.
You okay?
This is Erica.
It's a girl. Here you go, Bob. Could be colic.
Erica! Earache again, sweetheart. Under your armpits, that's it. Oh, we can sort that out.
At Terry White Chemmart, we've been looking after families for generations. Terry White Chemmart, dedicated to care.
New Aussie drama.
Put the gun down!
Human error.
He is coming for me.
Starts tonight, 8:40 on 9.
Toddler and baby foods being labelled as healthy and organic when some are found to contain more sugar than a chocolate bar are now being targeted in a national government review. The SA government today calling for a crackdown after a worrying number of pre-packaged toddler and baby foods were found to have low nutritional content, with supermarket items such as tuna vegetable purees containing only 5% tuna and yoghurt products found to have 60% sugar.
We found that they were very low in iron, that they were sweet and they were smooth. And they're marketed in such a way that they look healthy and organic.
The push is for tougher guidelines, hoping to strengthen food and marketing laws so pre-packaged foods can reveal their true ingredients. New laws will now protect Australians who want to use genetic information to assess their risk of disease. Insurance companies will be banned from using the results of any genetic test from discriminating against a person. The Australian Medical Association is very happy about this move, and the President, Professor Steve Robson, is with us. All right, Professor, can you tell us how this new legislation will safeguard the health and the finances of Australians?
Yes, we've had an incredible situation in Australia where if Australians have genetic testing that can help them detect and potentially prevent serious diseases like cancers, insurance companies can have access to this and deny them insurance. So a lot of Australians are facing a real concern about whether to have testing or not because it may compromise their chance of getting life or other insurance.
So in the modern medical world, what sort of role does genetic testing play in healthcare?
Genetic testing has a potentially extraordinary role across the health system, and it can allow Australians of all ages to work out whether they are at risk of serious diseases like cancer or heart attacks and other things. So it has an extraordinary role to play, and we need to make sure there's no financial disincentive for Australians to have testing that could protect them and preserve their health and also their families' health.
How much of a monumental move is this in the genetic testing world that this law change is about to happen to protect Australians from that financial disincentive?
It's a huge improvement on the current situation, and we know that as many as half of people who should have genetic testing are not having the testing because they're concerned they may not be able to get income protection insurance or life insurance or other forms of insurance. So that means as many as twice as many Australians now will be able to have the testing confidently and know that whatever the result is, they'll be protected from financial harm. It's a huge improvement.
So would you now encourage people with a family history of certain diseases to really talk to their doctors and really consider getting a genetic test to assess their risk?
Yes, absolutely. There's no reason, once this legislation passes the Parliament, that Australians need to be afraid anymore. They can be confident, and if their doctor or somebody else advises they have genetic testing, they can go and get the help they need, have the testing, and it can be a huge weight off their mind, either if they find they don't carry the conditions or if they do, knowing treatment's available.
It is a big move, a very positive one. AMA President Professor Steve Robson, thanks for your time.
It's a pleasure.
Time now to check on today's weather, and it's good afternoon to Jessica Braithwaite.
Yes, hi there, Will. We did have a little bit of a change come in today, a sneaky little spring front there, delivering the odd shower. Look, there hasn't been much in it, but you might have noticed the sky's turning a little grey today. A few splashes around. 18 degrees was our top. Right now, it is 17 degrees in the city, and those showers, well, they're pretty short-lived indeed. Tomorrow is looking fine again, so I'll have all those details coming up soon.
All right, see you soon, Jessica. Thank you. The Royals are heading down under and their itinerary has just been released. We'll tell you where in Australia you might be able to spot them. And in sport with Tom Rehn, the Powers plans to bring down the Hollywood Hawks.
Cemetery mix-up.
We've lost the plot.
Colleen and Ross wanted to be laid to rest side by side.
Someone else is in your spot.
What's going on here? Now they've lost the plot.
The cemetery has something to answer for.
If you've got plots, go and check they're not being taken over by somebody else.
A current affair tonight.
Are you living with a particular comfort complaint? The PostACare Chair Company will provide you with your perfect comfort seating solution in a tailor-made chair, specifically built for you to support your whole body, built right here in Adelaide. Try our unique patented zero-gravity chair for extra enhanced comfort. No other chair compares. Book an in-home measure or visit our brand new showroom. Zero-gravity seating like no other. 100% comfort guarantee. The PostACare Chair Company.
Spring wasn't made for indoors, it was made for Australian outdoor living. Now is the time to transform your backyard with our Super Spring savings, plus interest-free options available. Limited time only at Australian Outdoor Living.
Come into Portside Mitsubishi and get massive savings on a demo Triton this month. With a great range and even greater service, why go elsewhere? Book today for your test drive. Don't go anywhere, don't buy anything, don't sign anything until you've checked out the deals at Portside Mitsubishi.
Spring's here. That means more sunshine and time for the Sunboost Solar Stocktake Sale. This is your chance to grab solar discounts and clearance bargains you may never see again.
Before September 30, install a premium solar system at stocktake prices with Sunboost. Yes, solar and batteries all reduced, including the Aussie home favourite 6.6 kilowatt bestseller. Stocktake sale price only $36.91. Flexible finance options available. Limited quantities on selected systems, so call 1300 Sunboost now.
Animals are all sorts of amazing. They change our world without a word, read our minds, and mend our hearts. They protect us, entertain us, and get us out of bed. They're an antidote for loneliness and make our house a home, leaving a paw print on our lives that lasts forever. Animals give you a better life. You can leave them a better world with a gift in your will to RSPCA.
Need a sweeter ride? It's easy peasy lemon squeezy with our special offer low rate car loan. There's no squeeze with repayments from $68 per week and no monthly or annual fees. Apply today at Police Credit Union.
Protect your gutters from leaves and debris with All Seasons Gutter Guard. By installing All Seasons Gutter Guard, you'll eliminate the need to clean your gutters. You'll reduce fire risk and you'll improve the quality of your rainwater. And we have a solution for all roof types. For a limited time, when you buy 50 metres of an installed Gutter Guard solution, we'll give you the first 10 metres free plus a free gutter clean. All Seasons Gutter Guard. Get it and forget it. Visit allseasonsgutters.com.au.
This sports report brought to you by Solomon's. There's magic in a Solomon store.
Good afternoon. Port Adelaide defender Aaliyah has declared shutting down Hawthorn's small forwards as a key to winning Friday night's cutthroat semi-final. Nick Watson, Jack Ginnivan and Dylan Moore have been dubbed the Mosquito Fleet, causing defenders nightmares this season. Aaliyah says the Power have done their homework.
Last time we played, I was on Watson for a little bit, and he just wanted to go for a run out the back. And it's just, I'm always going to back myself regardless of who I'm on. But there's just going to be times where, okay, you know what, I'm going to have to keep him in front of me or whatever the case may be. But it's just playing it as you see and just try to beat him in whatever position that I'm in.
We'll have more from our exclusive chat with Aaliyah and hear from fellow defender Miles Bergman coming up in our news at 6. Well, meantime, Hawthorn coach Sam Mitchell has declared that his charges won't be targeting Zach Butters' bruised ribs. The All-Australian midfielder was subbed off at half-time of Port's qualifying final loss, but is expected to play in Friday night's knockout final.
I don't think he's the type of person you're going to be able to intimidate. If he says he's right to go, I'm sure he'll be right. And he's obviously a fantastic player that we've got some contingencies for.
Coming up at 6, Mitchell's former teammate Luke Hodge offers some advice to Butters. Well, the Crows have sent a bold warning to their AFLW rivals, declaring they're far from their best, despite an unbeaten start to the season. Caitlin Gould believes they have the squad to claim a 4th premiership.
We're absolutely flying. We had such a strong off-season, super strong pre-season, and I think the way that we're progressively going now, I don't even think we're at our best even so far. So I think the way that, we're progressing each and every week so far is, super exciting to see.
Certainly is. The Crows host the top-of-the-table Hawks on Sunday. What about this? A huge coup for the Adelaide 36ers with NBA veteran Montrezl Harrell signing a short-term deal with the Sixers as an injury replacement for Jarrell Martin. Harrell, a 6'7" power forward, played 8 seasons in the NBA, the last with the Philadelphia 76ers. The 30-year-old is expected to land in Adelaide next week, in time for the season opener on September 22nd. Great news, that. And the Socceroos' hopes of direct qualification to the World Cup are already in jeopardy. That's after a 0-0 draw with world number 133 Indonesia. Australia had a whopping 63% of possession and 19 shots at goal, but somehow couldn't find the back of the net, leaving the players fuming.
Extremely disappointed, because how many chances do we create? How many chances do we get? And it's been a common theme for, over a year.
Up next is China, with the Socceroos currently second to last in Group C. Nestoroi that far away from scoring well, very tight. That game against China is going to be at Adelaide Oval. A must-win, that 3 points, so a lot of work to be done.
So far a disaster for the Socceroos, but yep. All right, Tom Wren, thank you. Well, we now have the details on what King Charles and Queen Camilla will do on their 5-day trip to Australia next month. The details from Europe correspondent Hannah Sinclair.
King Charles and Queen Camilla will kick off their tour down under on October 18, and the first stop will be Parliament House to meet Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. While in Canberra, the King and Queen will also pay their respects at the Australian War Memorial and also visit the Australian National Botanic Gardens to meet staff and volunteers there to discuss the global impacts of climate change. The King and Queen will also spend 2 days in Sydney, where in true Aussie style, they'll have a community barbecue in Sydney's West.
We're going to really prioritise having access to regular Australians so they can see Charles and Camilla, the King and Queen. I think that that'll be good for Sydney.
The King, who has undergone treatment for cancer this year, will also meet our Australians of the Year, Professor Georgina Long and Professor Richard Scollier, to discuss their groundbreaking melanoma research. The last time Camilla and Charles were in Australia was 2018, so this will be their first trip as King and Queen down under, and it will also be the King's first big overseas trip since being diagnosed with cancer. So because of that, they're keeping it short and sweet.
Well, they're meant to be an alternative to cigarettes, but still to come. The dangerous habit being picked up by young people because they're addicted to vapes. Plus a new warning, fears Russia will soon decimate Ukraine with ballistic missiles that came from Iran.
It was the phenomenon, loved by millions.
The more chaos we made, the better the TV.
From the laughter to the headlines.
That wasn't rehearsed.
If I had my time again, I'd probably belt it. All the stars return for 2 huge nights. Join us for a special encore. 30 years of the Footy Show. Thursday, 8:30 on 9.
You know what's better than a Big Four bank?
A bank that's bigger for me. Bigger for making my money work harder.
And helping my business make it.
Bigger for helping us to buy a home.
Bigger for the community I care about.
My bank is bigger for what matters most. As Australia's most trusted bank, 2.5 million Aussies know that Bendigo Bank is bigger for them. And we're bigger for you.
Bendigo Bank, the better big bank.
If you're feeling a bit lonely or socially isolated, we can help you. Community Care and Transport Incorporated provides an aged care volunteer visitors scheme which supports volunteers to make regular visits to people over 65. We match you with a volunteer who will visit regularly and become a friend with no cost to participate. Go to communitycareandtransport.org.au or call us 1300 132 932. Community Care and Transport Incorporated. Care in motion.
Spring into savings with Lazy Boy and save big across the entire range, like 20% off all sofas and modulars and 15% off all Lazy Boy recliners. Or discover our new temper recliner at the low price of $1,999. Visit Jaffa's Furniture or the Chairman today.
Mario Mayola Promotions and 5AA present Hooked on Swing, starring vocal sensation Kate Black, the Three Little Sisters, and crooner Chris Lloyds. Together with the Boogie Woogie Big Band and Swing Dancers. Come hear the music of Benny Goodman, Cap Calloway, Billie Holiday, the Andrews Sisters, Glenn Miller, Nina Simone and more. Hooked on Swing, Festival Theatre, Wednesday, October 2nd. Book now at Ticketek. Barossa Bowland's interactive dinosaur mini-golf is amazing. A stunning 18-hole dinosaur mini-golf course and gardens, 10-pin bowling, a licensed snack bar, and a selection of pizzas available every day. Barossa Bowland, 89 Mengi Road, Tanunda.
This isn't just any roof. This is a louver house opening and closing room. This louver house is letting in just the perfect combination of airflow and sunlight, protecting what's important. What's better? It's ready to pounce at the first sign of bad weather. Louver House is genius. Call for a quote today. See the light with Louver House.
Share. Show the world that you care. Oh, baby, why don't you lend a helping hand? Share with someone what you can. Share with someone what you can.
People who mistreat animals could soon be issued fines of $250,000 or face 10 years in jail under new laws that are this afternoon a step closer to being passed. The bill that significantly increases the penalties currently in place has now been introduced into Parliament.
We're really hoping that that will be, the thing that makes people think twice.
There's also a provision for the RSPCA to step in before an animal is harmed, as well as protections for wildlife. The death toll in Vietnam has climbed to 127, with 54 people now missing after Asia's worst typhoon this year. Rain, flash flooding and landslides have destroyed homes, swept away a bridge, and the extreme weather is now threatening the capital, Hanoi. Typhoon Yagi is now the strongest storm to hit the country in decades. The US has confirmed that Iran has supplied ballistic missiles to Russia and warned those weapons will likely be used against Ukraine soon. Jessica Millward has the latest.
The distinct buzz of a drone. Then this. The Ukrainian attack hitting a residential building just outside Moscow, causing it to catch fire. One of several strikes by Ukraine across Russia, the largest drone assault on the capital since the war began. One woman was killed and airports closed. As the US warned, Russia now has its hands on an extra 200 short-range ballistic missiles, courtesy of Iran.
Russia has now received shipments of these ballistic missiles and will likely use them within weeks in Ukraine against Ukrainians.
Speaking at a strategic dialogue meeting in London, the Secretary of State declared the move by Iran increases the chances of the US and UK allowing Ukraine to fire their long-range missiles against targets inside Russia.
This development and the growing cooperation between Russia and Iran threatens European security and demonstrates how Iran's destabilizing influence reaches far beyond the Middle East.
France, Germany, the UK and the US announcing new sanctions for Iran for providing the weapons. That will include restrictions on Iran Air's ability to fly over the countries.
We're seeing a disturbing pattern of greater Iranian support for the Kremlin's illegal war.
The rise in tensions coming as Russia launches its largest navy drills of the post-Soviet era, right alongside Chinese warships. A clear indication, Washington says, the two global superpowers are sharing vital military information and technology. In London, Jessica Millward, 9 News.
A new study has revealed the shocking number of Australian kids who vape and then go on to smoke cigarettes. The results raising concerns about future nicotine addictions. Andrea Crothers reports.
Well, this data is disturbing to say the least. It found that Australians aged 12 to 17 who vaped were 5 times more likely to take up cigarette smoking than those who hadn't vaped. And staggeringly, if you look at just 12-year-olds, those who vaped were 29 times more likely to take up cigarettes. The study is a first of its kind, looking at the relationship between teenage vape use and smoking. It was done in a joint venture between the Cancer Council of New South Wales and the University of Sydney. Australia had been hailed as an international success story when it came to driving down smoking rates. Overall, it had dropped to 9%, in teenagers 14%. There are now real fears this could reverse Australia's work to become smoke-free.
The Adelaide pub officially saved. Next, the legal move that means the 170-year-old Crown and Anchor is here to stay. An Australian scientist reveal a drug breakthrough to treat MND.
We do what we were put here to do. Keep everyone safe.
FBI, don't move!
2 bombs and they both went boom, which means whoever we're looking for knows what they're doing.
Tell me, what I want to know now.
FBI. Stream complete seasons on 9 now.
I don't want to be told I look great for my age. I want to be told I look great.
Age Perfect Rosy Day Cream by L'Oréal Paris. With peony native cells to revive your skin's radiance and reveal a healthy rosy glow. Age Perfect Rosy Day Cream by L'Oréal Paris.
I've become so much more comfortable in my own skin. I look great.
Shop your Age Perfect Rosy Day Cream today.
We're age perfect and we're worth it.
At Viking, we've thought of everything so you don't have to. Unpack once and we'll take care of the rest.
Viking's Flight Crew sale is on now. For a limited time, enjoy free return flights for your companion with all ocean voyage bookings. Visit Viking.com or see your Viking agent.
Catching up with family and friends at home is always a special time. Make life easy with a welcome hand from your local Barnacle Bill. It's Barnacle Bill for seafood and much, much more.
Violence against women is at epidemic proportions in Australia.
Online disrespect is one way violent supportive attitudes and behaviour can impact young minds.
But to support our young people, we need to see what they're seeing and hear what they hear.
Only then can we help change their perceptions of gender, disrespect and violence.
Learn the hidden trends of disrespect before they lead to violence.
Take control of your sleep with a custom-designed electronic bed from Town & Country, the eBed specialists. Get a queen-size electronic adjustable massage bed, wireless remote control and memory foam mattress for $2,999. Town & Country, the eBed specialists.
Hey Adelaide, love earning points and perks? Celebrate our birthday and earn 15,000 points with us. Join now and earn rewards with every purchase. Shop in-store now for cashbacks and competitions. Chemist King, for service, price and advice.
When I look in the mirror, I have to double take. Hang on a sec, that's not me. Juniper was different from anything that I've tried. I thought this could actually work for me, and it did. Start your 30-day trial today.
Shop at Drake's and get free glass storage with vacuum seal freshness. Collect stamps with every $20 you spend. Bonus stamps for buying specially marked products. See in-store or online for details. Conditions apply. Drake's, ingredients for more freshness every day.
The Crown and Anchor Hotel has officially been saved with legislation to protect the Adelaide pub passing the upper house. Peter Malinauskas celebrating with a beer after a community campaign to save the 170-year-old pub led the government to reaching a deal with the developers who are planning a student accommodation tower.
The developer will now be able to build a big new building, but the Crown and Anchor will be saved not just temporarily, but forever.
The venue will be closed for 2 years during construction, with plans for it to move to a temporary home. Australian scientists are one step closer to finding a cure for motor neurone disease. They've developed a world-first technology that will dramatically speed up a key process. Isabella Staskovsky reports from Melbourne.
Using the machines in this lab, scientists can determine whether or not a drug that's already on the market could be used for a treatment or cure for MND in a matter of weeks. It's a process that previously took decades. This is a key step before clinical trials, with the work being done at the Florey in Melbourne, Australia's leading brain research institute.
So this is an absolute breakthrough. This is really at the cutting edge of the technology.
More than 100 MND patients donated their skin cells, and now researchers here have a library of stem cells. They're used to test drugs and quickly eliminate ones that don't work. Previously, animal cells were used.
The animal models don't really give us the full human disease. This is really a game changer in that we can use their own cells to be able to do this, and we can test drugs directly on their own cells.
Thanks to a $5 million grant from the Australian Medical Research Future Fund, large-scale screening can commence. For those like Phil Camden, who has been living with MND for 10 years, this provides hope.
The key to all of us living with motor neuron disease, we want to do what we can while we can, because we know we're not doing it for a cure for us. but we are doing it to find a cure for those in the future, my grandkids and their children.
It's believed medication or a cocktail of drugs tailored specifically to a patient is the way forward. This technology can certainly help with that.
Therefore, your drug treatments are tailored back to that clinical makeup or profile of that patient, and we call that personalised medicine.
It is also believed by researchers that this kind of technology can be applied to other diseases in future.
SpaceX has successfully launched its Polaris Dawn mission. That will attempt the first private spacewalk in history. 4 civilian astronauts, including American billionaire Jared Isaacman, will touch down in 5 days. The high school dropout turned tech tycoon is bankrolling this mission and acting as commander of the crew. Well, stay with us. Your weather details are coming up right after the break.
So here's something I never thought I'd say. Tomorrow on Today, I'm rock climbing with Jared Leto.
Why? And will he survive?
Probably not. Also, we visit the great town of Ninda Gully and try their 5-kilo burger. Get in my belly. See you at 5:30.
Right now at Domino's, there's more choice for everyone with My Domino's Box, the moresome meal for one. Now with 15 mini pizzas and even more sides to choose from. Get more from Domino's.
At My Care Solution, we know nothing compares to the comfort and familiarity of home. When your loved ones need support, My Care Solution is there to help. With a dedicated care manager and a highly trained care team, offering a full range of premium in-home care services. My Care Solution gives peace of mind 24/7, caring for your loved ones with skill, dignity and compassion. My Care Solution. Help your loved ones live at home, where they want to be.
Roy, keep it down! Can't stand Starship.
Every weekend, get to a ground and be a face in the crowd. 9 News Adelaide, a proud partner of grassroots football. Season 2024 finals are here. See a game live and show your true colours. For all the stats, go to adelaidefooty.com.au.
Wait, is the handbrake on? Oh, worse, worse! Oh, here we go. Yeah, I think I can. Yep. Nah, we're gonna need RAA.
Yeah, the thing about that is...
Ah, big man on campus, eh? You're braver than you look, flying around without RAA. Probably better to break down on a front road, not a back road. I think I just saw a snake.
My gel creation for a brilliantly clean toilet.
But there's a better Braithwaite.
Bref Brilliant Gel all-in-one. Powerful cleaning, grime protection, boosted fragrance and an impressive shine. Absolutely brilliant. Bref Brilliant Gel all-in-one.
When your child is ill or injured, everyday moments matter most. Help keep families together by donating to Ronald McDonald House Charities today.
Live life more pink with High Smile Barbie electric toothbrush, $39.50 at Chemist Warehouse. Now, brushing teeth is so much fun. As Barbie said, I worked very hard, so I deserve it. And you do too. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
This weather report brought to you by the Chemist Warehouse Footy Finals half-price vitamin sale. Shop in store or online today.
9 News at 6 is on soon. Kate, what's coming up?
Well, we'll have the very latest on the Seaton murder investigation as friends pay tribute to teenager Scott Phillips, who police say was lured from his home into an ambush. Also, new reforms to privacy laws amid revelations social media giants are using some Australians' data to train its AI products. Australia's drug regulator approves a common diabetes medication to be used for weight loss. The supermarket Fruit and Veg, which chain offers the freshest and best value? The results are in. We'll be back at 6 for those stories and more, Will.
All right, thanks very much, Kate. Time for the weather. Here's Jessica.
Thanks, Will. Bit of a change from yesterday. We did have that front just sneaking across South Australia today. At times you might have noticed the skies a little bit on the grey side and a little bit windy at times too as that front passed over. We did see the odd shower, but certainly nothing heavy. We're talking 0.5 millimetre in the city. We had that top of 18 degrees earlier this afternoon. It has cooled off a bit now though, only 14.5 in the city. So around the suburbs today, some of the heavier falls were more so through the hills and the southern hills. So we had 3 millimetres around Belair and Mount Lofty. In fact, Mount Lofty only made 12 degrees today under all of that cloud cover, but we did manage to get up to 19 degrees at Elizabeth and Mawson Lakes. So on the charts here, well, the front has cleared us. We've got a high pressure system moving in now. That's looking like it will be very kind to us. Not overly warm tomorrow because we've still got the winds coming from the southwest there, but it is looking basically dry for South Australia and it should feel pretty settled as well. Looking partly cloudy in Melbourne with 15 degrees, but Sydney could see a mixed day, perhaps with some smoke haze in the morning, the chance of showers and winds increasing throughout the day as well, with a top of 20 degrees in store there. So around South Australia, we are looking at pretty much clear conditions. It could be a bit of a frosty start around Clare, perhaps Port Pirie there, but then we are seeing that sun come out. Port Augusta expected to get to 21, Whyalla 18 and Port Lincoln 16 degrees. Not looking overly warm through the southeast. Mount Gambier expecting a top of 15 degrees, but further inland and a touch further north up at Renmark, we are expecting to get to a sunny 21. So across the Adelaide suburbs tomorrow, temperatures kind of in a similar range to today. We've got 18 degrees for Glenelg and Marion. Again, cooler at Mount Barker with 15 degrees the top. And then in the city, we're looking at a pretty pleasant 19 degrees with basically dry conditions, and things are expected to remain dry after that as well. On Friday, we're heading for 18 degrees to round out the week. The weekend looks pretty lovely too, particularly Sunday with lots of sun in store there and 18 degrees. So I reckon that's a pretty good spring treat there, don't you think, Will?
Yeah, love the look of the sunny icons, Jessica.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that is Adelaide's afternoon news. Join Kate Collins and Brenton Raglas for 9 News at 6. I'm Will McDonald. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.
The stakes are sky high as the fate of these three hopeful players hangs in the balance. Who'll tame the machine and play for our $20,000 jackpot?